everybody. Welcome for our Go Live episode today. It's Arian here again, coming to you live from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. It's February 17, 2025. It's Monday here, actually, and it's Family Day here in Canada. So, for us, we just stayed at home because we went through a winter storm when we went to the tubing park. But we stayed at home and we enjoyed the company of each other. We just watch movies, eat home cooked meals. So I hope you had a great day too with your families. If you're in Canada, happy Family Day. And we're here tonight. We have a special guest again, and I'm very excited for this one because this is actually for us who are small business owners here in Canada. I'm an immigrant, so we're new here in Canada, and it's just our third time filing our taxes. It's the tax season again here in Canada, and so that is why I invited a special guest tonight to discuss this topic that I have for you today. It's called Digital Business and Taxes in Canada. Stay compliant and keep more profit. So just a quick introduction. So I'm Ariane. I'm an IT analyst here in Canada, and I also have a digital business owner. And in this online business, I help ambitious parents and professionals build a smarter income stream and enjoy more precious moments with their families. And so tonight, again, our special guest is, if you have been following me for quite a while now, you've probably seen him in one or two of my live videos before, because I've interviewed him, and he was also able to interview me before. He is a fellow digital business owner, and he actually have retired as an IT professional, currently doing this online business as well. So please help me welcome to discuss Canadian taxes and this online business. Help me welcome Kuya Joseph.
Hello,
Hello,
good.
Kuya. How are you? Kuya
Hello.
Joseph is in the Philippines right now. So, good morning, Kuya.
Yes. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to you and all of our viewers. I'm so happy again to be here on your other, I guess another third maybe episode, or I think
Yes, for
something
us,
like
it's
that.
the third one.
Yeah. Maraming salamat for the invite, and yeah, you're right. I am in Manila, Philippines right now, and really excited to show what this business can offer to all of our viewers. As you know, this business is fully portable and flexible. So I'm here in the Philippines, and Arian's in Canada, and we're actually meeting remotely. And by all means, before I move on, I want to introduce myself. My name is Joseph. I'm from Hamilton, Canada. I am a husband and a proud father of two young boys. Arian did say that I did retire from the IT industry after decades of my career in one company, which I'm very, very proud of. I'm also a financial advocate, self-taught in financial planning, retirement planning. At the same time, my wife and I used to own a brick and mortar business for 5 years. So hence, I have a few insights and experiences in filing taxes for businesses in Canada. And also, I am a very, very proud digital business owner. So again, I thank you. Thank you for sharing the spotlight with you, Ariane. And I'm so happy to be on this episode with you and answer some of the questions that you or your audience may have.
Yes, thank you, Dan, Kuya, for saying yes to this live session, because today's live session is not like any other like interview session. This is gonna be more informative and I guess more directed towards small business owners or probably freelancers who are currently here in Canada. They will relate more to this topic. And
Yeah.
also, since it's not the usual interview, so Kuya Joseph will have his deck to be shown. He'll discuss first, and then afterwards, we'll do the question and answers.
Okay. So
Yep, go
y-
ahead, Kuya. You can.
yes, you want me to share my deck?
Yep.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Let me see here. Just hang on for me. Sandali lang. Let me look for my. Dali. So how's the weather like sa Toronto? Like how?
Sobrang kapal ng snow. Yes.
Yeah.
Ayan, I can see it now.
Oh,
Yan.
okay, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so salamat. I created this deck no for way back in January 30 when I had to present in one of our business partners meetings kasi a lot I mean your timing is great. A lot of people have been asking about these questions and they use they use having a business in Canada and also in the United States as a true benefit to what they call the American or Canadian dream. Okay,
Mm,
and it's very true. It's very true when they say, "I'd like to experience, I like to have the American dream or Canadian dream." That American and Canadian dream doesn't mean that you're working for an employer. That's not what it means. What it means is you as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, starting a business and doing well and being successful in this business. That's what the American and Canadian dream is all about. Okay. And there's reasons of that, which I will show you and I'll highlight throughout the presentation. I'm not going to go through a lot of detail on this presentation. I'm just going to go through the high level, the big points. Kasi we won't have much time, but at the same time, we want to keep our audience, obviously interested and intrigued with, the business benefits of being having a business in Canada or in the United States. So, without further ado, so my first slide, I just did a quick background. I know I mentioned that already. There's no point of going through that, but why my this slide is really talks about why understanding business taxes matters to everyone, right? To anyone that wants to start a business in Canada or in the United States. So number one is help reduce tax liability. So if you're working uh, uh, with an employer, okay, somebody paying you salary and wages, your salary and wages are 100% tax, 100% tax. Whereby in the business, if you own a business, small, medium, large, even corporation, which is a different uh, taxation altogether, different treatment, it reduces your tax liability tremendously. I would average it between, I would say, 28% to 32% taxes on businesses. So imagine 100% tax on your employment income versus 28 to 32% tax on the businesses. Plus, you also have tax claims as well. So there is a huge, huge advantage and benefit of having a business in Canada or United States. Okay. Number two is ensure compliance with Canadian tax laws. Obviously, that's why business tax is very important. Maximizing available deductions and credits, which I also mentioned earlier, improves financial planning for long-term success. This, right? This is what people are always looking for. Aside from the reducing of tax liability, it also improves the financial planning. Why? Because you can imagine yung tax liability na you save to reduce, you can apply that savings onto your business or onto other investments. So you can actually improve your financial planning down the road in long term. Okay. So those are pretty much the benefits and understanding the business taxes in what matters most. So business structures and taxation. I mean, this is very simple. Really, for us entrepreneurs, small business owners, sole proprietorship is the best one that you can select here because we're not a partnership right now. Our business model is really sole proprietorship. So partnership does not apply to us. Corporation, that will mean later on. I mean, it will. We can apply for corporation later on once our business starts getting into the higher volume of transactions and business. So right now, when we file our taxes, it's sole proprietorship is the best selection in terms of their business structure. Okay, so everybody should be using that in this digital business, sole proprietorship. Um, key tax deductions for Canadian business. So this is what people, this is what people asks a lot. Okay, they ask this. They said, "Kuya, what are the things that I can claim for my businesses?" So I'll start off with this. Okay, when you claim something, it has to be legitimate business claim. It cannot be a personal claim. Okay, you cannot mix the two together. Okay, I know a lot of people may think that, oh, I'm using that, I'm using this material, let's just say, right, for my business and my personal. But you have to distinguish between personal and business. Okay, and I'll go through that a quick example in a little later. So first one is home office businesses expense, right? Home offices meaning, home office space. So let's say you're using a 10 foot by 10 foot space as an office in your home or in your condo, right? On your apartment, you can claim for that as a business expense, the space only, okay? The 10 by 10. Whatever you use for your business, that's the only thing you can claim. You cannot claim for your kitchen. You cannot claim for your garage. You cannot claim for, your other rooms, your living room. You cannot claim for that. You have to set up a home office, and whatever that home office space is, that's what you're going to claim. Okay. And there's always a prorated claim, meaning, if you have a 10 by 10 feet of office, what is that compared to the rest of your home? What's your square footage of your home, right? So there's a prorated claim that you can do, but only claim the office space that you use for business, not anything else. Do not mix personal versus business claims together. Okay, that will not. CRA, the Canada Revenue Agency, will never ever allow that to happen. Utilities, there's also, again, if you're using a 10 by 10 feet space, there's a prorated calculation in terms of how much utilities you would use, electricity and heating and gas, whatever. There's a prorated rate for that. Property taxes as well, same thing, right? Business use vehicle. So this is another thing. Okay, a lot of people get a misconception on this. You only can claim business mileage, not personal mileage. So you have to keep track of your personal use on your car, and you have to keep track of your business use for your business. Okay, you cannot be combined. It has to be whatever you use for business that's what you claim for your business. Okay, same thing with insurance and maintenance. Again, that's all prorated, depending on the number of kilometers. That's how the insurance is going to be calculated. That's how gas is going to be calculated. That's how the maintenance is going to get calculated. Okay, office supplies, equipment. That's pretty straightforward, right? Your I guess your paper toner, printer toner, your cell phone, your software, tax, if you're buying a tax software, or if you have any, what we use like even Canva or something like that, like tools for what we use as
The
an equipment.
subscriptions, yeah.
Subscription, yes, you could claim for those as well, right? And that's 100% claim because you're obviously using that for your business most of the time, all the time, actually. Professional fees, legal, professional accountant. So again, this is the reason why I recommend hiring an accountant, because you could claim the fees. So if you pay your accountant $700 to file your taxes, and you're filing for your personal and business tax, because typically accountants will do that, file for your business and personal taxes, they charge you $700. That professional fee is a tax claim for your business. Okay, advertising, marketing, like Facebook ads, YouTube ads, if you are using business cards or if you're using websites, GoDaddy, right? Those are legitimate business claims. Okay, employee salaries and contractor fees. We don't have employees in our business, so it doesn't really apply. But if you are hiring someone to do your videos, right? Fiverr, I think, right? It was Fiverr. Um, and if they charge you a fee for doing your videos, then you can claim that as well on your business claim as tax. Um, Record keeping compliance. So here's another important question. A lot of people get this mixed up. I just want to clarify it for everyone. Um, so make sure you keep your receipts and financial records at least 6 years. Okay, so that Canada Revenue Agency requires you to keep it for 6 years in case you get audited. Right now, it can go into 7 years. So a lot of I would suggest to keep it for 7 years. The reason why is because sometimes you're late on your filing. So sometimes it spills over. So that's why they say 6 years, but 7 years is my recommendation because of if you file late, then you'll need to keep 7 years of records. Using software, accounting software, right? So or hire a professional accountant. It's actually good to get the software. If you're going to do it on your own, get the software. Because, and again, that software, the cost of it is tax deductible. The reason why I recommend is because for compliance and consistency, the software helps you to do that. And not only that, the software also has ways to help you understand what you can claim as well. Okay, so it gives you some guidance in terms of what you can claim for your business. And then file your taxes on time to avoid penalties, interest. So, Canada Revenue makes a lot of money when it on interest. So when people file their taxes late, whether it's personal or business, Canada Revenue makes a lot of money on their interest and penalties. So make sure you file your taxes on time. Okay. What else is there? Okay, so common tax mistakes to avoid. Not keeping proper records. So when I say keeping proper records, your receipts, I talked about your receipts. Make sure you have some of the receipts. Remember, they're thermal printed. Okay, the receipts are thermal printed, meaning some of the ink rubs off. Okay, they come off over time. So make sure you take a picture of those receipts, and you can file it that way and use a folder or an album to keep them separated by years of filing. Okay, make sure you have proper records again for 6 or 7 years. Missing eligible deductions. So this is another important thing. By having a software, it will help you determine what these eligible deductions would be. That could help you. And if you hire an accountant, the accountant knows the ins and outs of filing taxes on the business structure. So I would suggest again to follow either the software or the tax accountant, because they really just know ins and outs. And here's the other thing: when you hire an accountant, guess who is who is the person in the forefront when CRA needs something from your tax filing? It's actually the accountant's responsibility. Right? So yes, as a business owner, you supply your accountant with all the information that he needs or she needs, but your accountant is the one responsible. If there was a mistake, you are actually protected by the accountant. So that's very important point. I'm not saying the accountant or you will always make mistakes. I'm just saying that there is a buffer there that they will help, that the accountant can help you against CRA's requirements, right? And accountant can navigate themselves through and explain what you or he or she means about filing those taxes. So I would certainly use them as a buffer against CRA. Okay. Forgetting to remit GST and HST. So this does not apply to us because we're not retail. Okay. This really applies on a retail space where they collect GST, HST from clients, and then they have to pay it back to the government because it's just passed on to the government, right? So it's paid back to the government. So this doesn't apply to us, to our digital business model. Misclassifying expense or income. So this is a big one too. So if you were doing this, if you're applying or filing your taxes on your own and you misclassify expenses, when I say misclassify, you're putting your expenses on the wrong category, okay? where let's say advertising costs, you put it on professional costs or something like that. That's misclassifying the expenses. So that's something that you can avoid if you're using a software or if you're using an accountant. Again, they know best as to how to classify these expenses. And then I sort of already mentioned this, why hiring an accountant is important. This is just gives you an idea of why it is so important and beneficial to hire an accountant. I'm not going to go through this list, but it just does make sense. So for those of people that are just starting their own business, sure, you can file your taxes for your business, no problem. But as long as you have a good foundational and principle in terms of filing using the classification of expenses, which I will show you here in this slide. But let me just show, sorry, in this. So before I forget, anything that I talked about today is all here. Okay, it's all here. Business registration, if you want to register your business, business professional income tax, it's there. Business expense, this is the form that you use for filing your expenses. Identifying your industry code. So every business should have their industry code. Ours, I think we fall under advertising or something like that. Business expense categories, again, the list of different categories and expenses that you can file. And then business use of home expenses. This is the form that you would use to claim for your home expenses for your business. So just going back to my final thoughts, right? A professional accountant is more than just someone who files your taxes. They are a trusted financial advisor. Actually, they're licensed to be trusted financial advisors in Canada and in the United States, who helps you save money, grow your business, and make smarter financial decisions. So they're not just an accountant. They're overall your trusted advisor. So it's very, very important that you leverage them. If you're going to hire them, leverage them because they will help you down the road. Okay, whether you're a small business owner or freelancer, like Ariane mentioned, growing company, hiring an accountant is an investment that pays off in the long run. So that is very, very true. So key takeaways. I know you'll have some Q&A after this, Ariane, but key takeaways: the tax benefit can significantly impact your profitability in your business. Plan ahead and consult and hire a professional accountant for personalized advice. And then obviously your Q&A, and we can discuss. So yeah, so sorry I took longer than
Perfect.
expected.
It's so jam-packed, Kuya.
Yeah,
It's a lot of
but
information.
yeah, but I promise our business partners that if there are any questions, by all means, start a group chat. I can definitely help and answer most of them. But again, my goal is really to just educate and inform everyone so that they understand and then that they can have a meaningful discussion with their accountants, right?
Yeah.
Always hire a financial advisor or an accountant. But I'm here to clarify a few things so that if they don't understand it, I'm here to help.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kuya, for your presentation. It's very informative.
Yeah,
Yan, sobrang dami info.
yeah.
But yeah, it's required here in Canada, in the US, to file our taxes, and even
Mm,
if like, because when you are a business owner, it's not like in the corporate world wherein they like still are they are just arranged it and we just received the T4, right?
yeah,
So we have to track our own expenses, everything that's going on, transactions in our business, and we have to file our
yeah.
taxes to avoid those penalties, right? So we go on to the next part, Kuya, which is the Q&A. And I believe you've answered some of the questions already, but this is just to reinforce as well. Just a quick summary, probably, for some of the questions. So for the first one, um, here. Yan. Do we need to register our online business right away for a business number and GST-HST? So you said GST-HST doesn't apply to us because it's for retail. So how about the business number?
Yeah. So to answer the question, you don't really need to register right away. You don't. operate the business without a business number, and when you get to getting a business number, then you can do that after. But uh, to make things a lot simpler, I always recommend to get a business number right away if you can, right? But
Mm.
you don't really need to, right away. Is I think that sort of answers the question. You can operate a business without that right away, but to make things very simple. So let's say you start a business January, and you want to start advertising and stuff. You don't have to get a business right away, but business number right away, right? You can get a business number, I don't know, sometime 6 months after, maybe, or 4 months
Mhm.
after. You can do that, but
I
not right
see.
away, is what I'm saying.
But Kuya, where is it primarily used? The business number.
The
Just
business
an
number,
identification of your business.
yeah, the business number is really identification of your business, and they categorize it. Plus, I think they call it structure. So you have to, I think on my presentation, I said the business structure, right?
Mm.
So you have to identify which structure does your business fall into in the industry, in the
Mm.
industry. So there is manufacturing, there's retail, there's sales, there's, with us, I think we're fall under the advertising structure.
Mm.
So that's when you file your business number, is that is the structure, which is, I think it was advertising structure. And then you obviously explain what the business is all about. And then obviously your profile and stuff like that, and then you make a request. It's just a number along with a
Mm.
GST number that is used for, you need to, you ever use a GST or HST down the
Mm.
road.
Oh.
But just to answer this question, do you have to register online business right away? No, is that you don't have to, but you should later on. Yes.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. For the next one, Kuya, for us as digital or online business owners, even when I started, I was lost because I always hear this term.
Yeah.
This is what they always use. Tax write-offs.
Yes.
So
Yes.
at first I didn't know the the meaning of this. Like
Yeah.
how do they use this? Like how is it applied when you're filing taxes with with the business? So yeah, how do we explain this to like probably newbies or those who are
Yeah.
just recognizing this term?
Yeah, that's a very good question. That's a very, very, kasi marami siyang terminologies, and marami siyang same, what you call it, connotation, right? So tax write-off, uh, tax business claims or tax claims,
Mm,
tax deductions, right? They're
mm,
all the same. They're all the
mm,
same. So what do they mean by tax write-off? So tax write-offs are expenses that you have incurred in your business, that the government allows you to deduct in your tax filing.
mm,
Okay, and so that's so this is another benefit, right? So like, remember I said, when you're working for an employer, your salary 100% is taxed. The only tax write-off is RRSPs on an
mm,
employment income, right? Registered retirement savings plan. That's the tax. Um, you can call it write-off, but it's really a tax deferred. But that's almost the same as a tax write-off, but it's tax deferred in a way, right? You still pay taxes later on.
mm,
But on the business side, tax write-off or tax expense or tax claims, what happens is you have your revenue, you have your expenses, which includes your tax write-offs,
mhm,
and the difference is your profit,
mm,
right? So the more you have tax write-offs or tax claims, the more profit you get,
mm.
right?
Right.
So, but people, and this is where people get uh, misconceptions, right? Owning a business also means we all have responsibilities. We all have um, obligation to the government of Canada or government of the United States, right? We are an entrepreneur. Uh, we need to make sure that we follow, right, all the principles and fundamentals of taxation, business taxation. What that means is you have to be disciplined. You have to make sure that whatever claims you are using against your business is truly legitimate and that you can explain to the government, CRA, Canada Revenue Agency, or IRS,
Mhm.
explain what those claims are because they will ask you. They will ask you that question. What is this claim for? And explain, right? So before you can claim those taxes, before you can expense or write off these taxes,
Mhm.
you must have a good explanation. And this is the reason why I keep saying that you have to be disciplined. You have to be um, consistent, making sure that when you're filing your business taxes, that it's truly legitimate, that you can
Mhm.
back it up, right? Because the moment that you cannot back it up, guess what happens? Your profile, your account gets flagged. It gets
Mhm.
flagged, and when it gets flagged down the road, it's gonna bite you, right? It's gonna
Yeah.
cause you some problems down the road because you're gonna continue to get audited, right? And that's the stress that you don't want. That's why being consistent and being um, truthful, being responsible, and making sure that you can explain uh, why it is a legitimate claim. That's all what matters, right? So don't
Mhm.
take advantage of the situation and don't fall for other things that other people do, right?
Mhm.
You cannot, you can't do that. You don't want to put your business in jeopardy. So yeah, no, it's the tax write-off is certainly a good question, and everybody should really learn um, to be disciplined and to make sure that they're filing the right expenses.
Yeah. Actually, to follow up on that, Kuya, before I go into the next question, maybe this is kind of probably confusing to others as well. So let's clear this up. What makes a claim a legitimate business claim? So how can we probably like say that it's legit business claim, that it's for business?
Yeah, you just make so one thing is records keeping, as I mentioned, right? So let me give you a good example. So you have a a meeting. You went to a
Mm-hmm.
meeting with another business partner or potential business partner, and you went for lunch or so, right? So between you and that other person, you spent money for lunch, the meal that you can just keep records of. You could write it on the receipt. Who was in that meeting? So
Mm-hmm.
Aryan and myself, right? And the date, and that's it. And then you make sure that you record that. So that receipt you can claim because you guys talk about or we talked about business.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if there was another person, let's say you went for like no, sorry, another day you went for a family dinner. Let's just say, right? You went for a family dinner, um, and you guys, I mean, you did talk business or so. Uh, it's very subjective. So you cannot claim for your whole family's meal. You can
Mm-hmm.
only claim for yours,
Oh.
especially talking about business, right? You cannot claim for the rest of the family. I think people misconstrue that um, just because you have your family with you that you can claim that whole thing for the bit for as a business claim. You can't. No, that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
You only can claim your portion of
Mm-hmm.
the claim, right? So I mean, if you have other questions in mind or other scenarios, maybe I can explain. But to me, it's really about the legitimacy of the business claim, like you know, even going on the trips,
Mm-hmm.
right, with your family or so. It's very questionable that why would the government see that as a business claim for a family trip, right? It's really your portion of the uh, that you can claim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially, so let's say you're going for a conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to a conference in June, right? And you brought your family with you. So if the conference, the whole 3 days, and it's all your time was with the conference,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like let's say 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's a legitimate business claim for three
Oh.
days, right? But you took your family with you. That's still okay. That's still okay. You took them with you because they're with you in the room. That's okay. But you still have to pay for your room, and that's a legitimate business claim because it's a conference,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
The dinner and lunch is different, right? It's a
Mm.
bit different treatment. So that's why you just have to make sure. I mean, there are explanation in CRA website, right? There are scenarios even
Mm.
they share with you. So I give you the link, or I can give you the link on those on this from the slides, but you just click that link and it'll take you to whatever expenses you can claim, and it give you scenarios as to what they mean and how you can apply
Mhm.
it for your claims.
Oh, thank you
Okay,
for that, Kuya. If I can just, get the link as well so that
for
I
sure.
can check. But yeah, my takeaway from that, from your answer, is the bottom line is that we have to document, like,
Yes.
what is it for? What is the expense
Yeah.
for? And then
Yeah.
when the CRA asks, at least we can, that's the term that you used earlier was to back it up, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah. Yeah.
what's the explanation behind it, when and who are you with, and why did you do this, like, expense, or why did you do this activity, or why are you
Yeah.
claiming this, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks
Make,
for that. But yeah, this is clear to
make,
me now because
make,
that
make
one's really, yeah. Oh
make
yeah,
sure.
the picture, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Make sure you take pictures because, like I said, those receipts wear off, right? They wear off.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, also in relation to that, to the previous question, now we go to the concrete, like, examples of what expenses, because you've mentioned earlier, you've listed down what are the business expenses that we can deduct, right, to lower our taxes. But maybe let's just, like, tweak it a bit and be more specific with what our online business is. So for example, like, in our online business, we're working from home, right? So how do we say that, this is what I'm gonna claim for my business, within the home? Like, what are you using? Like, the calculations for, you say, the utilities and everything. So.
Yeah. So one thing that you can use for your claim for your home is the office space, right?
Mm.
So again, you have to determine what is your office space working area, and that cannot change year to year. It
Yeah.
cannot. So remember, I said you have to be consistent, okay?
Yeah.
Because the
Okay.
moment the moment that there are changes on your filing, it triggers something in their system.
Mm.
Okay, so you gotta be consistent. Okay, I mean, sure, you can make adjustments here and there, like not major changes, right? Not in malalaking variations, right?
Mm.
So let's say, like I said, yung kanina, 10 by 10, 10 foot by 10 foot space in your home. So you can claim for that. You can
Mm.
claim for your desk. If you buy a desk, computer desk, you can claim for that. You can claim for a printer, your equipment,
Mhm.
your laptop. You can claim for that. Um, you can claim for utilities. So there is a calculation based on the 10 by 10 feet space. You can they'll give you a calculation. Okay, so this is by 10 by 10 feet. This is how much utilities that you would need, and then they will say, okay, so how much is your monthly cost on utilities? So it's going to
Oh.
be prorated calculation based on the space. So let's say
Oh.
your utilities is, I don't know, $200 a month or
Yeah.
something, right?
Mhm.
So you can't claim the $200 a month, right? Because that's for the whole house, right? That's for the whole house. So CRA or IRS will have, okay, here, so $200 your amount, you plug it in here. How much space do you need? You're claiming 10 by 10, and then it will give you how much you can claim.
Mm.
Whether you're
That, Kuya,
using
is also in the links in the website of CRA, or
So yeah, so
yeah, it's there.
CRA will give you the explanation and the scenarios, and yeah, they will give you the explanation. But on the software will also actually give you the amount that you can claim based on the space and based on the
Mm.
amount that you spend on utilities. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Oh.
so the software makes it easier, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Pero in CRA, it'll give you a prorated calculation.
I see.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
because last year, for the information of our audience, it was my first time to file taxes for with the business, for us with the business, and then yeah, we were able to get some right, take some have some refund.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it's because my husband had multiple jobs then, so the taxes was very high, and then we were able to at least reduce it by, I think, more or less $1,000.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
and this is a good point that you brought up, huh? So this a lot of people ito sa especially us Filipinos and us Mexicans, us hardworking people, right? There are many hardworking people out there, right? They can do three or four different jobs, multiple
Jobs, yeah.
jobs, right? But you have to think though that's those salaries and wages 100% going to taxes. So even if you're working three or four multiple jobs, you have to really think if it's really worth it, because to me it's not. The moment
Mm,
that you're working on two multiple jobs, it is not worth it. Why? Because it's putting you on a higher tax bracket. So
yes.
the one thing that I've always recommend is to understand the taxation brackets of Canada. Okay,
Mm,
the federal and the provincial tax bracket, it's called marginal tax. And what
mm,
that means is that for every dollar that you go over that tax bracket, you're paying a higher tax. That's
yeah.
what marginal tax means. Kaya to me, if you are working two or three or four multiple jobs, you are already um, in a very disadvantaged way of living
Mm,
in Canada, because
yeah.
just one, you're losing your time with precious time. You're using
Yes.
precious time. Number two is you're paying higher taxes.
Oh my gosh, we were shocked, Kuya, actually,
Yeah,
when
that's why.
we found out that all of those multiple jobs, it took 100% for tax.
Yeah,
Yeah.
put it. So I'll just put it this way, okay? If let's just say, right? Let's just say you're earning 250,000, 230,000, $230,000 in a, let's say you're, I think surgeons or doctors or something like that,
Mm,
dermatology maybe, they're paying 54% tax already. 54% they're paying. So can you imagine working for $230,000 and you're only getting
how?
so much?
Yeah.
36%, 36.
Yeah, so I'm really glad that last year we were already able to like file taxes once we got the business running, because it really reduced it for more or less $1,000, and it's really a big help for us.
Yeah, so they would get, yeah, 46% lang they would get.
Mm.
54% goes to government and 46% would go to you. So is it really worth it? Just really think about that, right? It's not worth it. And then all your time is gone, diba? All your time, just crazy. It's crazy. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Does it?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
Kuya. Thank you for
Okay.
that. So the next question would be, so for me, this is just actually a person. This came from me
From you?
because I was thinking last year if we're gonna get an accountant, but we did not do that because I felt like we can do it ourselves because we
Yeah,
didn't have that much transactions in and out.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, will you answer this question? Is it better to hire an accountant, and why? If
Yeah.
yes, why? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
So
I have trust issues. How do I find a good accountant?
yeah, yeah. No, that's a very, very good question. No, ako rin, to be honest with you, when we started our traditional business, uh, I actually before that I filed my own taxes. I filed my taxes. I filed for my wife. I also filed for my kids as well, right? And I still do for my kids.
Wow.
I'm not paying. Yeah, I'm not paying an accountant to file their taxes. No, no, it's just too simple anyway, right?
Simple, yeah.
So, um, so for personal, there's no reason why you would really need an accountant. Okay, you can file your taxes on your own using the software, and the software also can help you.
Yes.
Okay, but if you have a business and and you have a profitable business, I'm going to start with this, okay? Profitable business,
Mhm.
meaning you have revenue, you have expenses, then I would suggest to hire an accountant, okay?
Mhm.
Now, if you're just starting a business, obviously you don't have profit yet. For those of people who are listening in, you can file for your taxes, but again, you just do your due diligence to make sure that what are the things that you can file and claim for your business. Okay, so you can still claim or file your taxes on your own. That's okay, because you know what, I'm not here to scare all of you. CRA or IRS, they'll be they'll be understandable, especially when you're starting off a new business. They will understand that there'll be some variances, there'll be some mistakes that will happen, and that's okay. That's okay. It just cannot be constant mistakes, right? It cannot be constant mistakes or consistent mistakes. It's okay to file, and you can just say, "Oh yeah, sorry, I made a mistake," and it can get corrected. The only problem that with that is it will delay your refund if you
Mhm.
have a refund, or if you're owing, then obviously you have to pay the interest if you're owing, right? You just have to pay the penalty and interest. But sometimes those penalties get waived if you have an explanation, a legitimate explanation in doing so. So to answer your question, fundamentally, we should really hire an accountant, especially if you are already making profit on your business, because you want to make sure that it is all, you're getting the tax benefits, right?
Mhm.
You're getting the tax benefits, because it's so hard for you to claim those tax benefits if it's past years. Okay, it's difficult.
Mhm.
So just imagine, imagine all these tax benefits you didn't claim from the previous years. It's hard to get them back, right?
It's hard to
So
track
that,
too.
yeah, so that's one reason why you also want to hire an accountant. Again, I talked about the consistency. I talked about they know all the ins and outs
Mhm.
of tax filing. They have all the advantages, right, of tax filing. They will, so things that we may know, sorry, things that we may not know, they may know in terms of tax filing, right? So there's huge benefits of having of hiring an accountant. And like I said in my other slides too, right, that the accountant is not just an accountant. They are
Mhm.
really a trusted advisor, and obviously you have to get a good accountant, of course. That's I'm
To
assuming.
follow up on that, Kuya, what makes a good accountant for you?
Ah, yeah.
Have you
So
found your good
yes.
accountant? Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. So by all means, so a lot of people have hired accountants, and if they're not getting the answers to their questions, that's a big, huge flag. Okay,
Oh,
your questions has to be answered. You. So to me, sometimes I'm really I'm a really ano ba to? Parang
meticulous.
I'm a dog with a bone kind of thing na parang I don't let go. If things don't make sense to me, I will continue to ask
Very
those questions.
persistent.
Yeah, you have to, kasi it's your life, it's your business, right? Kasi remember, if CRA or IRS could go back on your filing 6 or 7 years down the road,
Yeah.
and if there were things not it's not legitimate, they can really penalize you big time, right?
Mm.
Back, like going past years, right? So you want to make sure it is done correctly and properly, and you want to make sure that it's legitimate and you can explain
Mm.
it, right? So your accountant can explain it on your behalf, which is good. But what I'm
Mm.
saying is, accountant is there as your buffer, and they
Mm.
will help you throughout your business to make sure that you're making the financial decisions for your business and for yourself. So
Mm.
I really think that they're a huge benefit to have as your, what you can call your business accountability as well.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
I bet, Kuya, those penalties are like thousands of dollars, right? So,
So you know what? I'm speaking by experience here, from what I knew, or from what I know a long time ago. There was a business long time ago that some of my friends, parents, got involved in, and they lost their houses because of
What?
Yep,
Oh
they
my
lost they lost their houses because of misfiling and misrepresenting
God. Mm-hmm,
their
mm-hmm.
business when it
Oh,
comes to taxes. Okay, so you don't want nobody wants to be in that position,
yeah.
right? So people actually there were thousands of people lost their houses.
Wow.
They had to
It's
they
too
had to
bad.
sell their houses to pay back
Yeah.
CRA, right? So we have to be really careful in terms of um, filing our taxes,
Mm.
and we cannot abuse the system. I mean, come on, the business already having a business in Canada and the United States is the Canadian American dream, right? Let's not try to abuse that, and
Mhm.
eventually uh, we're all going to be successful, especially in this digital business.
Yeah.
So I would say just follow the basic principles and fundamentals and of tax filing, and all of you will be fine.
Yes, agree,
Yeah.
agree. Thank you for that, Kuya, because it's a really very important information that, like, I didn't even know that, those kind of things that happen, like you can lose your properties.
Yeah, oh yeah. If you cannot pay the penalties and the
They'd
interest,
look at your properties.
they will garnish your
Oh,
income, and they will garnish your assets.
oh my gosh. So we'll be very careful about that.
Yeah, yeah,
About
that's why.
that.
That's why. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So this next question, Kuya, is also a personal one. So
yeah.
the business right now, our digital business, it's registered under my husband's name. But I'm the one who's running it. I'm the one who's on screen, doing the ads, things like that. So um should the expenses be under his name as well? Like do we need to use like his accounts, credit cards that's named after him just for us to be able to file the taxes under the business, or doesn't have to be as long as we have like the documentation as we discussed?
No, so yeah, that's a very, very good question. So typically, it has to be whoever is the business owner, he or she is the one that can file for taxes, especially or the expenses and stuff like that. The
Mm.
name is very, very important. Um, it cannot be somebody else's name. It has to be the business owner's name, whoever's filing for that claim.
So for example, kuya, my husband will be filing his tax. All of the expenses should be like write-offs and everything should be under his name.
For the business, are you talking about business or personal?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, for
Yes.
the
For the
business. Yes, yeah, yes.
so even if, for example, let's say we ate out, but we're going to file a portion of it in the write-offs. So does it have to be his credit card or is it? Oh, that's the case. Okay. Oh,
Now, now there's one thing that I will say though. If so, certain credit cards are joint,
uh, yeah,
right?
that counts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So you can make an explanation if you somehow, some way you use your credit card and under your name,
mhm.
you can make an explanation on that receipt, right?
Mm.
You can, but you can't do that all the time. Put it this way,
Oh.
huh? If you were to hire an accountant right now, an accountant will tell you to get a separate business card, a
Mm.
separate one, a credit card for your business. That's what he or she will recommend.
Oh,
As a
okay.
matter of fact, they will recommend to get a separate checking, or because they want to have one account that will show all the
Yeah,
transactions
everything already.
in
It's
one
it
in
makes
one.
it easier. Yeah.
Yes, yes. But to your question, let's say, okay, it's the business is under your husband's name, and you went for dinner. You guys talk business, and you want to claim for the meal expense for his name, but you paid it under your name.
Mm.
You can make a notation on that
Notes.
receipt. Yeah, you can make the notation. You can make a notation
Mm.
on that sheet and say you use your credit card, but this portion of his meal is tax claim for his business or something like that.
Mm.
You can
Okay.
do that. Yeah, yeah. But just make a note again. Record keeping, right?
Yeah.
Record keeping
Yes,
is
yeah,
very, very
correct.
important. Right.
But yeah,
So
that's a good point. So it's yeah, it makes sense. It's better to have a separate account like credit
yes.
cards and bank accounts for the
Or
business.
designate a credit card. So let's say you have two
Yeah.
credit cards because you got joint accounts sila, right?
Yeah.
So designate his, right, his credit card as the business credit card,
Business credit card, yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
it's expensive to get a business credit card,
Yeah.
right? So just
Annual
designate,
fees.
yeah, yeah. So just designate one of the, kasi naman, when the statement is printed, his statement under his account is separate,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Thank
But
you, Kuya. So, yeah, so I think we are down to the last one. Just to wrap this all up, it has
yeah,
been a really very informative, sobrang dami information. I really loved it because I learned a lot from our session tonight. So just to wrap this up, and to summarize na rin as well, how can we avoid the CRA penalties and how do we really stay compliant while having, fun in our online business?
yeah. So file your taxes on time. You know, don't let it, don't let it pass. File it on time, and try the best you can to make sure now you're consistent, and uh, accurate. Try as accurate as you can when it comes to your claims, and make those notations, right? Because the
Mm,
notation is very important. If you can show CRA the notation,
mm,
they won't question you as much, really. If you make a notation and record, you have good records keeping, and that's not typically not a problem. It's more of, did you file your claim on the right category, right, on the right expense? Is it advertising expense, or is
mm,
it home office expense, or you just have to be careful. And again, do not abuse it. Do not, never, ever, ever abuse it. I know a business partner had asked me, can they claim for their dresses for
mm.
gala, right? So that's a very questionable item. That's a very questionable, because say that dress you can use for any parties or gala, right? So to me, you really have to think about, so how much did the dress cost, and is it really worth it to claim it,
Mm,
right? Is it really worth to claim it, and have CRA or IRS go after you after a few years?
mm.
Does it? Sometimes it has to make sense, diba?
Yeah.
Sometimes it just has to make sense, right? If it doesn't make sense, then don't claim it, right?
Oh, by the way, Kuya, may naisip ako. Do we
Yeah,
have
yeah.
like a maximum amount to claim or
No,
wala
no,
talaga? Okay.
no. As long as it's legitimate, huh?
Mm,
So that's a good question. A lot of business partners, they ask me about our capital cost to business, starting a
mm,
business.
mhm.
There's no limit there. You can
Oh,
claim
I
your
see.
full capital cost to start the business, right?
Mm,
So you can claim that, because it's called the capital cost of starting a business,
mhm.
right? So there's no limit there, and you can claim that, and everybody should claim that, because that's how it costs you to start the
For
business.
the
Again,
business. Yeah.
that the fundamental question is this claim business uh, legit? That's
Mm,
a very, very simple mindset, right? To people, is this claim legitimate for my business? That's it,
mm.
right? If it isn't questionable, then why bother claiming it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a simple question.
Better not to undergo that stress.
It is not worth it.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is not worth it. Not, trust me, it's not.
So that wraps up our session for tonight. Thank you so much, Kuya Joseph. I
Yeah.
really love this, this session. I learned a lot from you today, and I hope our audience did learn a lot too. And my takeaway is that actually practical. Practical actions for me is to have an accountant already because that might be like it'll be very helpful for us. I guess I might have like missed some that I did have to claim sana from the last one. So I wanted to make sure that I do the right thing as early as now.
No,
But
no, that's
I do have to find a good one.
yeah, yeah. Let me know, because say word of mouth is the best way. To be honest with you, to finding an
Yeah,
accountant.
oh yeah, if you have a
Yeah,
recommendation, although we're here in Windsor, is that okay? Like,
that's
how
okay.
do they
That's
do it?
okay. That's all about accountants. These financial advisors or these people have connections.
Oh,
They have connections, right? So use them to get to your contacts and stuff like that. But you brought up a good point as well. Hiring an accountant not only saves you for your business taxes, but also your personal,
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? They
Right.
can say, "Oh, did you claim for this for your son, or did you claim this for your husband?
Yeah,
Did you
because
claim?"
sometimes you might miss those
Yeah, so they will.
information if because especially when you're starting, you haven't tracked it like as tedious as you
Yeah,
should, right?
yeah. But so I'm not to say. So I just want to clarify this thing, right? So, and you brought it up earlier, whether you can do it yourself or an
Hire.
accountant.
Mhm.
Alam mo, it's always good to really
Mm,
learn on your own how to do these things, diba?
yeah.
You will learn from an accountant for sure, pero
Yes.
by you doing it yourself, you learn a
Yes.
lot. You learn
Yeah.
a lot,
Yes. Yeah.
and that's the
I do
best way.
agree.
Kasi that's also how I started. I did it myself, and sure, I made mistakes. Yeah, of course I would. Nobody's perfect. Make mistakes and make corrections, but accountant can just validate those things for you too,
Mm,
right? But like I said, accountant will help you on your business tax and also on your personal tax. So,
mm,
and you can write off that fee, the fee from the accountant. So I think it's worth the money to spend. I really think it's
mm,
worth it, especially when your business is already profiting in,
mm,
even in a small profit,
mhm, mhm.
it's still okay because that is a business expense that you will claim anyway, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much again, Kuya, for your
Okay.
time and have a great vacation there. Rest of
Yes.
your
Thank you so much.
vacation there in the Philippines. Maraming salamat po for the time and the information, the learnings. I'll see you again soon
Yes.
sa next one. Salamat po.
Maraming
Bye.
salamat. Bye bye.